This story is absolutely heartbreaking. I had a couple of you all actually email this story to me. I wanted to wait because something just told me that there was going to be like more of an update on this situation. And there actually is. So this is going to be a quick one. If you do stay till the end, you'll be able to pretty much see something else that has happened in addition to this situation. I also want to start off this video by saying rest in peace to this woman. This is insane. I really do feel as though this situation is a cautionary tale of when women are leading with their hearts and women are priding themselves on being loving, on being nurturing, on seeing the good in someone and thinking that all of that is going to be able to change a person. And unfortunately, this woman displayed all of these qualities, and in turn her life ended up being taken because of it. So there were some videos that actually had come out. The woman's name is Stephanie Dowles. Beautiful woman. I want us to go on ahead and watch a video that kind of paints the picture of who she is as a person, because I really don't want to give this monster a lot of attention on my platform. And I really do want to just show who she is as a person while also using this as a teaching moment for women, just to understand that, you leading with a good heart, you leading with a open mind and not wanting to be judgmental. Although those are very good qualities to have, not everybody deserves those qualities. And when you see someone that has a hefty resume of violence like her husband had, those type of people just don't deserve this type of treatment because they will take advantage of it. So let's go on ahead and
I'm gonna post this because I look so bad. But if there's somebody out there and you've done a lot and you know you love people, you know you do, search your heart. Ask God to help you heal from whatever that is that's hurting you, because you have to love everybody. You have to truly love. And I think that if we fall in love with Jesus, really fall in love with him, the worst of enemies can't hurt us.
I feel like her saying that was so cryptic because essentially that's what killed her. Like, that mindset is what killed her. And this is the reason why on this channel, I'm always going to tell women, this is why women are leaving the church. And this is why men are trying to flock back. This is why men are flocking to the church and women are leaving the church, because essentially this is the result that you get when you are believing in the church, when you are, because essentially overall, the church is teaching women that if you do X, Y, and Z, you will be rewarded. So as long as you aren't judgmental, as long as you have an open heart, as long as you see the good in people, it is all going to pay off in the end for you. And so with these teachings, with this ideology, she really believed that her goodness in her belief was going to be enough to change her husband, who has murdered 4 people. He murdered 4 people in 1994. And so she still was married to him. I don't know if they were, I tried to dig deeper. I don't know if they were married while he was in prison the whole entire time, or they met like somehow pen pal style and then ended up getting married while he was in prison. But this mindset where you can pretty much take a demon, you could take a criminal, you can take a person with a history of abuse, and you can love them to sanctity. You can love them to the point where they will remove all of them from them. It's not real. All you're doing is putting your life at risk when you do this, because this man, her husband, had no problem taking the life of 4 people. Had no problem taking the life of 4 people. So it would never, and unfortunately, a lot of women like to believe that it'll never happen to me. He's not going to treat me that way. That was just a bad time in his life. He's changed. It would be all of these lies that women will tell themselves to make us believe that it'll never be us, that we are invincible, that we can no longer be a victim. And if a person is like that when you met them, and because this is the thing, men are always saying, aren't men always saying, oh, a woman's past indicates her future? They want to know how many times you've been divorced. They want to know how many people that you've slept with. They want to know how many baby daddies you've had. Even men understand that your past does have some implication of how you are going to turn into the future. Women tend to not have that mindset. Women will look at the past of a man, and instead of just saying, okay, he's a criminal, he's actually taken the life of 4 people, maybe I should get away from this man because this is pretty much a prelude to what's going to happen to me. Women, the first thing that they're doing is looking at it like a challenge. You know what I mean? I can overcome this. I can fix him. I can make him be a wonderful, loving man. And that's never going to work. You're putting yourself at a very, very large risk by having that mindset. Men are not challenges. Men are not puzzles. Men are not obstacles. If you want an obstacle, go get a degree. Go on a weight loss journey or a weight gaining journey. Go start a business. Go get a house. Those are obstacles. But looking at a man with a criminal background and a past like this and thinking that you can take that as a challenge and an obstacle for your own validation, for your own self-worth, is dangerous.
I've seen people have testimonies where somebody killed their child and they prayed for that person's soul.
Once again, especially with Black people within our community, that's always the thing. You're supposed to forgive. You're supposed to forgive. I am one of those people where forgiveness has levels, in my opinion. Forgiveness has levels that are connected to certain emotions. So you may be at a point where you won't forgive a person because you're angry. You know what I mean? And there are other times where you may not forgive a person, but you just accept the fact that you can't change the situation. But you're never going to forgive them for that one thing that they've ever done. And I think a big issue with a lot of this is, oh, like you should forgive a person. A lot of people, what they do is once they forgive a person, they open their heart back up. The Bible says, guard your heart. So if you are going to forgive a person, and they have this, repeated offense where they are a dangerous person, they are a harmful person, they have inflicted some type of pain on you, you need to keep your heart guarded still. It's not going to be this magical thing where your forgiveness is linked to their changed behavior. You forgiving a person is not going to guarantee that it's going to turn them into a different person. You can look it up. There was even a case where there was a woman, I think a man killed her daughter, if I'm not mistaken. I know he killed someone kin of her. She forgave him. He was released from the prison, and then he killed her. So I feel as though this whole thing with forgiveness, men don't take forgiveness as an opportunity to change. They take forgiveness as an opportunity to pretty much make you vulnerable. Forgiveness is vulnerability to men. When they see that you are a forgiving person, they're going to push the envelope to see what they can do to you. Men do not honor forgiveness in a way that women do. You are weak to a man when you forgive. That's why they're going to keep cheating on you after you forgive them the first time. That's the reason why they're going to run up your credit card after you forgive them for when they stolen from you. This is the reason why they're gonna they're gonna keep quitting jobs, or quote unquote, oh, I've been fired today and losing jobs, after you keep financially protecting them, saving them from everything. They don't take these opportunities to change. All they do is take these as opportunities to take advantage of you.
Good morning, everybody. It's me, Stevie. It's my birthday guest, and I just want to say thank you to everybody for all the wonderful text messages this morning and the birthday wishes on Facebook. I'm very excited about this day. I'm going to have a great day. In fact, this whole year has been the best year I've had consistently for 12 years. I'm so happy. So thank you for everything, and you guys have a great day too. Thanks. Bye.
And you could just tell that she is like so happy. She's very joyous. She's very full of life. She's vivacious. Like, you can legitimately tell that this is a very happy woman. You can legitimately tell that this is a woman that is not out to harm anybody. She just really is leading with light and love. And this is really unfortunate that something like this has happened to really she really honestly looks like an angel. And from everything that I've looked up for this, for Stephanie, everyone has talked highly of her. Her children, her daughter-in-law, her son, they've spoken highly of her. You really can tell that this is a very, very great woman. And it's a shame. It really is a shame that her own husband, someone that she loved, would do this to her.
This is the story of Stephanie Brinson, a 62-year-old grandmother who was strangled and killed while having an overnight, conjugal visit with her convicted murderer husband at a California prison. Her husband, David Brinson, who was convicted for killing 4 people in 1994, met her while he was in prison, married her.
So he met her while she was in prison. And this is not everything that I say moving forward about Stephanie. Please understand, this is not for any dig at her or anything like that. It's just me essentially using critical thinking on where I believe where her mind was to put herself in this predicament. I feel as though is beautiful. This is the thing, and this is what I'm always going to tell women. The number one thing that men are looking for is for your self-esteem to be low. When people read articles like this and people look at it, that would never be me. How stupid could she be in meeting someone with judgment? She's beautiful. She could have any man that she wants. The number one thing that men are looking for is for you to have a low self-esteem. Like, that's guaranteed. That is 100% guaranteed. If you have a low self-esteem, men understand that you are prey. Women with a low self-esteem are very, very good prey for men, because it means they usually don't have any boundaries. They're not going to have any standards. They're going to avoid red flags because there is a level of validation that they want, and they want it in proximity to a man noticing them. Women with high self-esteem are not going to deal with a man in prison. It's just not going to be a thing. So as beautiful as this woman was, so as accomplished as this woman was, you can tell she's very happy. She's very lively. As bright as this woman was shining on an internal level, her self-esteem was so low that she felt like the best that she could do was to find a man in prison that has killed 4 people. And he is in prison for killing 4 people and is serving 4 life sentences. That's where her, energetically, that is where she was. She felt as though that's where her match was when she's a business owner. She's gorgeous. She has a great aura, but internally she is a very broken person. And this is why I always make sure to do things in order to teach women how to build up their self-esteem, how to not make decisions out of lack, how to not make decisions with a scarcity mindset. Because this would never make any sense. This would never, ever, 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 ever make any sense to make this decision.
Then killed her during a conjugal visit.
Listen to this. The death of a woman at a jail in Amador County while on a visit is now being investigated as a homicide. It happened last Wednesday at Mule Creek State Prison when 62-year-old Stephanie Diane Brinson was visiting her husband. He's an inmate there.
What led to this crime and what led this nice woman to a convicted killer? Let's find out.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to an article. Okay, so quadruple murderer David Brinson is accused of strangling wife during overnight conjugal visit. A California wife was strangled to death during a conjugal visit with her quadruple murderer husband, leaving her family heartbroken and desperate for answers. Stephanie Dowles, 62, was visiting her husband, David Brinson, at Mule Creek State Prison when she died just before 3 a.m. on November 13th, 2024. Brinson, who was convicted of 4 murders in 1993 and is in prison for life, used the visitor's complex phone to alert guards his wife passed out. The California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation told KCRA. Officials rushed to the private area and found Dowles unresponsive. She was pronounced dead about an hour later. The Amador County coroner ruled her death a homicide and determined Dowles did not just pass out. She had been strangled. The CDCR is investigating the death, but Brinson has not been charged with anything related to the incident. This is another thing. When you're dealing with a person who is already in prison, especially when he has 4 life sentences, what does this man have to lose? He has nothing to lose. At this point, he has accepted that he is going to die and rot in prison. So he literally has nothing to lose taking another person's life. So these men, they're not caring about any repercussions because there really is not going to be any further repercussion at this point. Because he's already accepted the fact of, well, this is where I'm going to be. So if I can't go out, if I'm not allowed to be out there and take a life, I will just allow victims to come to me and I will just take lives while I am in prison. Dowell's family, however, is certain Brinson is to blame and has called out the prison for putting the beloved hairstylist and small business owner in danger. How could they just let this happen? I just don't get it. This is her husband that committed the crime. And then this is Stephanie with her grandchild. And then this is the prison. My mom was just left alone and she called for help, I'm sure. And there's nothing she could do. Given the history that this guy has, we kind of wanted to know, how is it even possible for them to be unsupervised? The CDCR explained family visits take place in private apartment-like facilities on prison grounds, according to the department's website. These sessions, listen to this, these sessions are generally 30 to 40 hours long, and the CDCR operations manual states an inmate having one of these visits must present themselves at least 4 times within 4 hours. So essentially, they let a prisoner be unsupervised with a person, a civilian, for 1 to 2 days, and all they have to do is just pretty much show, hey, I'm here 4 times. An officer tasked with monitoring a visit can check in unannounced, but every effort shall be made to ensure the privacy of the inmate and their visitors according to the manual. So essentially, there is no protection over the person that is coming for the conjugal visit. So essentially they're saying that oh, you're going to be coming in a prison where people have killed people, abused people, R-worded people. But it doesn't matter. Like the people to monitor, it doesn't really matter if they come in and monitor or not. So there's no protection for the people that are partaking in these conjugal visits. The only inmates who are barred from having conjugal visits are those convicted of sex offenses or on death row, which is crazy to me. That's absolutely crazy to me. And the thing that's very, very interesting about this is just a guess of mine. This is just a hunch of mine. They're probably doing that because it's probably less S offenders in that prison system than it is people who are guilty of homicide. In my opinion, that would be my guess, because it is very hard to prove someone guilty of a sexual offense. It's very, very hard. So essentially, that prison is making it very, very easy for crimes like this to be committed. They are essentially serving victims on a silver platter in that prison for this to happen. And we all know it's not going to be that many people on death row. I mean, it's going to be very, very few people on death row. So, yeah, majority of the people who are in prison most likely have committed homicide, and they're all allowed conjugal visits. Probably 75% of the prison inmates are allowed conjugal visits. And this is the reason why they do this on purpose. A conjugal visit is a long extended stay with someone that it's usually going to be a spouse. So it pretty much has to be someone legally tied to you for it to be considered a conjugal visit. Prisoners who have just arrived at the facility are going through the reception center's process, as well as those under disciplinary restrictions, are also prohibited from family visits. A CDCR representative told KCRA, family visits are a privilege, and incarcerated persons must apply and meet strict eligibility criteria to be approved. The people in the prison are criminals. There are dumb criminals, and there are very, very strategic criminals who just honestly got very unlucky and ended up getting caught. They weren't as strategic as they thought that they were. But there are a lot of people who are in the prison system. They attempted to commit a crime strategically. Do you not think that there is strategy behind the men in this prison to be on the best behavior as possible in order for them to gain the trust of the prison system, so that way they can be able to have conjugal visits? Like, if you really wanted someone to visit you, if you really wanted the opportunity to take a person's life, of course you are not going to show someone that you are mentally unstable, that something is wrong with you, that you have the ability to do this, even though you're past, even though you're there for this very same thing. Like, look at how beautiful this woman is. Mind you, this woman's 62 years old. 62 years old, looking like this. And unfortunately, her self-esteem was so low that it cost her life. Like, she really felt the best that she could do was to be with a man who has killed 4 people. Like, I really want you to really sit down and understand how crazy this is. Only those who demonstrate sustained good behavior and meet specific program requirements are considered. These visits are designed to support positive family connections and successful rehabilitation. Dowell's daughter-in-law, Natalie Jimenez, said Dowell was known by loved ones as Stevie was trying to help her husband improve his life. She was trying to help a man that has killed 4 people improve his life. She is trying to help a man who will never be able to see outside the walls of that prison improve his life. There is no level of improvement that a person like that is going to be able to undergo. This is the reason why I get so upset and I get so angry when you guys remember that Wade Wilson man. He was that tall white man who literally had like I think he had like the innate, I think he had a I'm not going to say the word, but the schwa, the rest of that word, he had it tattooed on him. He had all types of tattoos, and he literally was on trial for picking a woman up on the side of the road. She needed a ride to work. He offered to take her to work. I don't remember if like he strangled her, but essentially he did something to her, took her out the car, and then rolled over her body back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then when the trial went public, a ton of women were on TikTok saying how fine he was, how attractive he was, how cute he was, how they wish that he could do something to them. Do you know how insane that is? And then women wonder, when women wonder why men don't take the R word accusations, the SA accusations seriously. Very hard to be taken seriously when you're glorifying a man who has literally taken a stranger off the side of the road and has killed her in one of the most inhumane ways. And this man also had a history of DV with his past girlfriends. When women are having this, when women have this amount of limerence over men and over physicality and things like that, and propping men up and overlooking certain things and certain crimes that they're committing because they're attracted to them, it's insanity. It's a mental illness. They would read the Bible together. He was in school there because she was pushing him to try to be this better person. Once again, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. You're helping a man that is in prison to become a better person, and he's killed 4 people. This makes no sense. It's unfortunate that this woman's self-esteem was so low that she felt obligated to do this out of love. This is not love. I'm sorry. This is not love. This is not anything that a woman should ever aspire to partake in. And this is the reason why I have this platform. I have this channel, because we have to deconstruct this brainwashing. We have to, the reason why this happens is because as women, we've been brainwashed to be people pleasers. We've been brainwashed to feel as though, even though men will come to you all broken, all messed up, all fucked up mentally, it's your job to fix them so that way they can be the person that you want them to be. And women rather put their life at risk. They rather be miserable. They rather be unhappy and in turn lose their life as opposed to being alone. If a man is not coming, if a man is not whole, if a man is not worshiping you, if a man is not honoring you, you're always going to be better off alone. Like no person is worth dying over. I'm sorry. This is insanity. According to a GoFundMe set up by Dowell's family, she was the sole provider for her elderly parents, 2 sons, and 8 grandchildren. So this woman was spreading herself extremely thin. Sole provider for what? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Sole provider of 12 people at 62 years old. This is what the Bible and the church going, in the opening your heart, in the love, this is what it gets you. This is what it gets you, having your heart be open and doing what the Bible is telling you to do. All this woman has done is pretty much lived a life where everyone has extracted her energy. I'm actually very, very shocked that she is able to look the way that she was at 62 years old. Like, I'm very, very shocked that she was still able to keep up with her looks. Stevie was a passionate hairstylist, small business owner, a STEAM educator, and master Brazilian blowout specialist. She continuously advanced her skills and generously shared her knowledge, mentoring numerous colleagues and guiding them toward brighter futures. I look at it like this. The church is always going to be useless if you have a low self-esteem. If you have a low self-esteem, it doesn't matter what it is that you practice. None of that is going to come into fruition, because you aren't vibrating at the level that you need to vibrate to get what it is that you actually need, to get what it is that you actually are deserving of. Now, someone already said it in the chat, but something else has actually happened in this prison. Something else has actually happened in this prison. So I'm going to share the screen on a different article. Look at this. Second woman is strangled during an overnight visit at California prison. Stephanie Dowells died while visiting her husband, who was serving a life term for murdering 4 people, the Amador County District Attorney said. The family of a woman who died of strangulation during an overnight visit with her husband at a California prison is questioning why a man convicted of murdering 4 people, was allowed to have family visits. Stephanie Diane Dowell, 62, who also went by the name Stephanie Brinson, was killed in November, making her the second person in a year to die at Mule Creek State Prison in Ione during a family visit, according to the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. The other victim, Tanya Thomas, 47, was also strangled during a family visit, Amador County District Attorney Todd Reeb said in an interview Monday. The man she was visiting has been charged with murder in connection with her killing. So like I said before, they are pretty much opening up for this to happen, because they're allowing the most conjugal visits to happen with people that are committing homicide, because in most cases, that's what majority of the prisoners are there for. They're most likely there for homicide. Most of them are not there as being S offenders. Dowells, a hairdresser, was killed while visiting her husband, David Brinson, 54, who was convicted in the 1990s of murdering 4 men during a robbery and sentenced to 4 consecutive life terms without the possibility of parole. After Brinson called prison officials at 2:04 on November 13th to tell them his wife passed out, officers immediately began life-saving measures and called 911, a spokesperson for the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation said. But Dowells was pronounced dead at a shorter time. Dowell's killing remains under investigation by prison officials and the district's attorney office, the spokesperson said. Reeby said charges are pending prison and autopsy reports. The Amador County Sheriff's Office confirmed she had been strangled and her death was a homicide. Dowell's son, Armand Torres, 28, and his wife, Natalie Jimenez, said that in the days after Dowell's death, Brinson's account of events kept changing. including the exact time and location where he found Dowells unconscious. He would say, you know, she passed out on the floor, or she was passed out on the bed, Jimenez said in an interview. So this man knows what he's doing. This is like, what else are you going to expect from a man in prison and he's killed 4 people? Dowells lived in Inglewood, California with Torres Jimenez and their 3-year-old son, who called Brinson grandpa. So this criminal was around her grandson. This criminal was around her grandson, calling him grandpa. So this criminal knew her grandson. He was close enough to be able to call this man grandpa. Torres Jimenez, their son, and Dowells are all very close, and the couple allowed the boy to accompany Dowells on family visits to Mule Creek Prison twice in the last couple years. This is insane. This is insane. To bring your grandson in a prison and have him in the presence of a man that has killed 4 people. This is outrageous. If I could trust him with my kid, I'm thinking it's a green light, Torres said of Brinson, who is not his father. You know, like everything's fine. He said his mother told him his son had enjoyed the visits, which was enough assurance for him to trust Brinson around his son. The thing about it is this. When it comes to religion and when it comes to the thing of discernment, one thing that religion is never going to tell people about discernment is that discernment is a spiritual process. Because you can't really tell someone that they have to have discernment and you don't tell them how to gain discernment, because discernment is an internal thing. Because something in your spirit has to know on an internal level, on a spiritual level, that something is bad for you, that someone is bad for you. This is the reason why someone can have all of the physical signs of red flags, and then the person will still go towards the red flags because their physical and their spirit are not matching. But the church is never going to tell you that. Religion is never going to tell you that, because it's a spiritual process. Discernment is a spiritual process. You are not going to really be able to gain discernment in any type of way where it is any type of religion that's really just been created. There has to be something spiritually inside of you where you can tap into your intuition, where you can be in a situation and have enough situational awareness to understand, okay, something is off. This guy is a creeper. I need to start running. I need to, there's stories of that where women will literally be like, I was walking alone and I didn't turn behind, I didn't look away, and something just told me to run. And then lo and behold, there's a man behind her running after her. That is discernment. Torres said sometimes he worried about his mom being with someone who was incarcerated, but he tried to be supportive. He said he was unaware that Brinson had been convicted of murdering 4 people. My thing is this: your child being around someone that is in prison should be enough. They're just like, that doesn't make any sense to me. And this is why I say that men are not protectors. Men don't have the spiritual ineptness to be able to be true protectors. Because the fact that you the fact that you would be supporting your mother being in love with a man that's in prison at the potential cost of your son being there. What if the conjugal visit was with her son there, with her grandson there? What if the conjugal visit was with her grandson there and then he did something to her grandson too? Also, please don't forget to like the live. I have to set up the poll. Um, yeah, I have to set up the poll. I haven't had any time to. I've been super, super busy. So please don't forget to give the live a thumbs up. We really love our mom and we just wanted her to be happy, you know? And she usually came back happy, he said. They talked on the phone every day. Everything seemed good. I'm all for second chances. If she was happy, I was happy. And this is the reason why you really should, if you have a friend, if you have a family member, if you have a significant other, we're only at 63 likes. Okay, I'm stopping. We got to get to 100 likes. I don't care how long we have to wait. And I'm on this live with all of the plans that I'm foregoing to be on this live. We got to get the likes up. We need to be at 100 likes. Also, I'm going to try to post on the spiritual channel tonight. I have so much going on. I have so much going on, so I'm going to try my hardest to do some content tonight on the spiritual channel. But yeah, once we get to 100 likes, then I'll start talking again. Aw, thank you. You're doing good, Queen. We love you. And thank you for giving me the nod for my spiritual channel. I really do appreciate it. They might be playing with the like count. I don't know. But once we're at 100, y'all can let me know. Because I'm actually sacrificing a good chunk of my time to be on here because I want to make sure that I'm giving you all content despite me being super busy. I'm literally preparing for a long drive. I'm moving a ton of things. So let me give you all the link to the spiritual channel really quick. Come on, y'all. We got 104 people in here. And we're at 74 likes. I went in and I liked it myself. Yeah, this is crazy. All you have to do is hit a thumb. Hit a thumb. The content is free. It's probably men in here, honestly. It's probably a large amount of men in here. So they're probably upset. Probably upset that they can't extract information. I have a theory that the people that drop off once I stop talking, it's probably men. Well, yeah, they're dropping off now because I'm not saying anything. Because as soon as I say, hey, live is on ice, drop. Because they can't extract information. Okay, let me go back to sharing the screen. All right. We're almost done anyway. Okay, so Torres would sometimes, let me make sure. Okay. Torres would sometimes overhear his mother and Brinson arguing on the phone, but he said, but he didn't think much of it because couples sometimes quarrel, especially when one partner is incarcerated. Stephanie was always a forgiving person, and she always tried to see the better in people. Despite their background or anything, she would always try to see the good with them. That's what she did with her husband. Torres said his mother and Brinson met before he was born in 1996, and he didn't meet Brinson until about 2016. Ah, okay. So they knew each other. So they actually knew each other, and I'm assuming they must have kept contact and then decided that they were going to get married. Thomas, the other victim, was found unconscious on July 1st, 2024, in a family visiting unit where she was spending time with her domestic partner, Anthony Curry. Curry, 48, is serving a life sentence for attempted second-degree murder with an enhancement of intentionally discharging a firearm causing great bodily injury. He was also sentenced to 13 years in prison for carjacking with an enhancement of using a firearm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Curry has been charged with murder in connection with Thomas's death, but has not been arraigned. The California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation website says some incarcerated people are eligible for family visits, which occur in private apartment-like facilities. Like, I'm sorry, but anyone in prison should not. No, they should not be having access to people like this and in these predicaments. Everything needs to be supervised, and you honestly should only be getting 1 hour. Like, it's crazy to me because don't these people in prison, don't they have like a 23-1 type of thing where like they only can be outside for 1 hour? So how is it that you are in prison and you get to have a conjugal visit longer than when you can actually like be outside of your prison cell? That is absolutely insanity to me. So they will protect prisoners. They will protect prisoners from other prisoners, but won't protect prisoners from the civilians that are coming to see them. Wild. Absolutely wild. The visits are intended to support positive family connections and successful rehabilitation, the website says. Death row inmates and people convicted of S offenses are excluded, as is anyone under disciplinary restrictions, the website says. The family visits are a privilege, and incarcerated persons must apply and meet strict eligibility criteria to be approved, a department spokesperson said. Only those who demonstrate sustained good behavior and meet specific program requirements are considered. An online prison operations manual says inmates in family visiting quarters have to present themselves for a minimum of 4 times in a 24-hour period. Torres said that no matter the level of supervision, he believes it should be higher, especially for prisoners with violent history. I want them to take some accountability for this. The prison Torres said, because what's stopping the next person from killing their wife or son or anybody? Yeah, because at the end of the day, these prisoners shouldn't be having access to anybody. And I agree. I would love to see the benefits of spouse visits. There must be something to it. They have to be getting a kickback or something like that. They have to be. There has to be some type of monetary value that this prison is getting in order for this to be allowed. It has to be. You don't need discernment to stay away from someone you know is violent. Discernment is for things that cannot be easily observed, known, or ascertained. She knew she was desperate. Desperation is one hell of a drug. I look at it like this. Discernment, you're still going to need, at the end of the day, you're still going to need discernment because, like I said before, you can have all of the physical proof. You can have all the physical proof in the world, but there are still women who are going to use other physical proof to overlook the fact of, okay, yeah, this person isn't a good person. And yes, desperation, I said low self-esteem. Desperation is a byproduct of low self-esteem. And lack of discernment is also a byproduct of low self-esteem. All of this roots from low self-esteem. People that have a high self-esteem are not desperate. People that have a high self-esteem are able to practice discernment because they don't care about cutting off a family member. They don't care about cutting off a significant other. They don't care about cutting someone off that is no longer good for them. Because guess what? You still need discernment because this guy probably was trying to present as a good guy. And I don't know, because here's the thing, I don't know the story. Do I really think that when she met him before 1996, she knew the whole story? And he probably was like, no, I didn't kill those 4 people, yada, yada, yada. Who knows? You know what I mean? There's still men in prison to this day where they're trying to put on this facade as if they are a victim of the prison system and someone put a crime on them, that the system is after them, especially Black men. We see this a lot with Black men. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I'm not saying that there are people in the prison system who are there and they don't need to be there. However, I'm also not going to sit here and say that if this guy was able to manipulate this woman to the point where she's having conjugal visits, I can't sit here and say this guy just was fully presenting before this fact as this horrible criminal person. So let me get this straight. Men are being brought children in prison for unsupervised visits. Hell no. Exactly. And it's because she's too busy trying to see the good in him. So guess what he was doing? Trying to show her the good in him until he took her life. This is the reason why you still have to have discernment, because these people are not going to be evil people to you. These people are not going to be aggressive to you and angry towards you. Discernment is a key because these people are going forward facing. These people are going to be very cunning, very manipulative, very charming, very nice. It's really a shame that not only her, but another woman are losing their life at the hands of the men that they are married to, hands of the men that they are in partnership with. Because they much rather just take a breadcrumb as opposed to just saying, hey, I'm just going to be alone. And this is the reason why I agree. I agree that you should be judgmental. I'm sorry. You need to be judgmental. Judgments are there for a reason. I know a lot of people don't like stereotypes. A lot of people don't like judgment. I am a firm believer that the only people that get angry about stereotypes, the only people that get mad about judgments is because they fit the bill. She most likely was trying to break up with him or stating she wants to leave him. You know how that goes. Yeah, because like I said before, I don't believe that these situations occur out of nowhere. If we were to look at both sides of the story, there's more to this. There's more to this story. But yeah, you need to be judgmental. I'm sorry. You absolutely need to be judgmental. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, you shouldn't care about being judged. You shouldn't. You shouldn't care about being judged, because at the end of the day, you know who you are. You know what your qualities are. You know what you're guilty of and what you're not guilty of. So at the end of the day, judgment, I like to call judgment a resume. It's a resume. Pretty much how you dress, how you act, how you talk, how you carry yourself. Your past is your resume. If you give a job your resume and it shows that you're unstable, you don't know how to do the job requirements that are needed, no job is going to hire you. They're judging you based off of your resume. Your ability to get a job is based off of judgment. You being able to get deals, you being able to get certain type of treatment, it's 100% going to be based off of judgment. The world is not fair. That's just how it is. But you need to use judging people to your advantage. Like, come on. I'm very judgmental. You think I'm gonna let some guy who has profile pictures, who's carrying a firearm and toting firearms and has a wad full of cash, money up to his ear, you think I'm gonna try to talk? You think I'm gonna let a person like that talk to me or meet up with me or have my phone number? Hell no. Hell no. So just in closing, a reminder that, ladies, please work on your self-esteem. Okay, please work on your self-esteem. Your list of men that you don't deal with should be longer than your list of men that you will deal with. Like, honestly, you should have a very, very narrow sector of men that you will allow in your space, that you will give your time, that you will allow to have access to you. Women always do the opposite. They have the list be wide, and then they'll take one person from that list and then try to get them to fit in their narrow little requirements. No, I always say men should start in prison and work their way out. Meaning that you should be judging them, and you should be testing them, and you should be waiting for them to fuck up. You should essentially be giving yourself a reason to not deal with them anymore. Because when you do the opposite, you're going to get taken advantage of. Things like this are going to happen to you. You are going to be a victim. You are prey. So, ladies, that is it for today. I really hope you all enjoyed the live stream. I will be back most likely on Monday. Hopefully, if I have enough time, I can hop on the spiritual channel tonight. My lovely sovereign sisters, thank you all again for all the new subscribers. Welcome. I really appreciate it. We are almost at 12K. I really, really appreciate you all supporting the channel. I really, really support you all coming in, being interactive on the live, and supporting me. Also, do not forget to subscribe to the channel. You can click the notification bell. You probably didn't get a notification on today's because I set the live like 15 minutes before, so a lot of people probably didn't get a notification. Also, if you would like to join my Patreon, where I teach dark femininity, dark manipulation, learn how to play the game so you don't get played. And then I also have one-on-one consultations that you can also find in my description. And then my second channel is The Mystic Sovereign, no spaces, The Mystic Sovereign. You guys can find me over there on that channel as well. I will see you all next time, and I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Bye.